She thought the vows were the highlight of her day. She was wrong, because when the best man stepped forward, what should have been a moment of joy turned into public devastation. Live, unfiltered, unforgettable. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's jump into the video. The sky stretched in hues of amber and violet as the sun dipped low over the Charleston coastline. Waves lapped softly against the sand while inside the grand white tent. Laughter rippled through the crowd. The reception for Claire and Thomas's wedding was in full swing. Glasses clinked, candles flickered, and the first dances had left more than a few guests wiping away joyful tears. To any outsider, this was perfection. The golden couple, Thomas, the charming investment banker, and Claire, the ethereal beauty in ivory lace, were glowing. Every detail had been planned to perfection, from the strings of fairy lights to the sea breeze carrying the scent of roses. No one, not even Thomas, had any idea that beneath the polished smiles and soft music, a secret was buried. And tonight, it would be unearthed. Ladies and gentlemen, the DJ announced as the music faded, "May I have your attention for the best man's speech?" All eyes turned to Liam Carter, Thomas's best friend since college. Liam stood tall, wearing a crisp midnight blue tuxedo. He took a breath, his fingers brushing over the small note card in his hand. The bride beamed up at him from her place beside Thomas, her hand delicately resting on her new husband's arm. Liam's eyes scanned the tent. Faces of people he knew well, people who had no idea what was about to unfold. And then he saw her, Claire, smiling so sweetly it nearly made him flinch. He adjusted the mic. "I've known Thomas since the day he showed up to freshman orientation wearing 2 different shoes," Liam began, to warm laughter. "I knew then he'd need a friend to keep him from public embarrassment, and we've been inseparable ever since." The guests chuckled. Thomas smiled. "I've watched him grow into the man sitting here today," Liam continued. "Hard-working, kind, loyal to a fault. A man who deserves every happiness." Claire nodded, squeezing Thomas's hand. Liam took a breath. "And I've watched him fall head over heels for Claire. We've all seen it. How he looks at her, how he lights up when she walks into a room. For Thomas, love has always been something sacred." The tent grew quieter, the mood softening. "Which is why," Liam said, voice dipping lower, "this next part of the speech isn't one I ever thought I'd have to give." A murmur rippled through the crowd. Claire's smile faltered. "Thomas," Liam said, turning to his friend, "before I say anything else, I need you to know you didn't deserve this. None of this." Claire's fingers twitched. She leaned in, whispering urgently, "Liam, what are you doing?" He looked at her, gaze like ice. "You see," Liam said, addressing the room again, "marriage is built on trust. It's about choosing one person to stand beside you, to honor you, to be faithful to you, even when no one's watching." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small black remote. The projector screen, which had been set up for the couple's slideshow, flickered to life behind him. "Claire," Liam said softly, "I think you forgot. Someone was watching." The first image appeared, a candid shot of Claire, in casual clothes, entering a luxury hotel lobby, time-stamped 4 weeks earlier. Gasps filled the tent. The next image, Claire in the hotel bar, sipping champagne with a man who was clearly not Thomas, but rather her ex-boyfriend, Evan Michaels. The air thickened. Someone dropped a glass. A woman covered her mouth. The final image appeared, Claire and Evan on a balcony, embracing. Too close, too intimate. Liam spoke over the stunned silence. While Thomas was working overtime to build their future, he said, voice even, Claire was revisiting her past. Claire shot to her feet. "Stop this. This is insane." Thomas looked as if the ground had tilted beneath him. His face drained of color. He blinked at the images as though they were in another language. "Thomas," Liam continued quietly, I know you'd blame yourself. Wonder what you did wrong. The truth is, you did everything right." Claire's parents were pale. Evan, seated toward the back as a friend of the bride, stood abruptly, then tried to retreat, but security staff, pre-warned by Liam, subtly intercepted. The room was chaos. Murmurs turned to raised voices. Thomas stood slowly. "Is this true?" he whispered to Claire. Her eyes filled with tears. "Thomas, it was one mistake. It meant nothing. Please." He stepped back as though she'd burned him. "How could you?" he whispered. "We were—" He didn't finish the sentence. Instead, he shook his head, took one last look at the screen, then at Liam. "Thank you," he said simply, then turned and walked out of the tent. Claire's sobs followed him into the night. Liam let out the breath he'd been holding. The wedding never made it to the cake cutting. Guests left in stunned silence. Claire disappeared into the hotel, her perfect fairy tale shattered in an instant. Days later, the video, recorded by a quick-thinking cousin, surfaced online. Millions viewed the wedding speech exposé. Opinions poured in. Some hailed Liam a hero. Others lamented the broken heart on display. Thomas filed for an annulment within a week. As for Liam, he didn't feel triumphant. He felt clean. He had done what needed to be done. And somewhere along the Charleston shore, under a quiet sky, he finally felt free. Subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.